folks. This is Joe Imbriano, and we're going to get right into this topic, folks. This is an extremely urgent message to all parents and children, young children, middle-aged children, teenagers, adult children, whatever. We need to talk about this, folks. We need to talk about this right now. And we're going to start after just a brief announcement here. This is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. On the web at thefullertoninformer.com and WiFiDangers.com, 5GDangers.com, VaxDangers.com, Hollywood666.com, NASAFraud.com, Disney666.com, CellTowerDangers.com. Folks, I want to talk to you about what's going on. There are people out there looking to steal your children from you when you go to the store. And to all you COVIDiots that are pushing the masks, you are enabling and emboldening the criminals to abduct your children. There have been several attempts that have been brought to my attention from my sources in local retail stores in Orange County. A mother and her children, young children, to where a man will kind of act really strange and kind of keep an eye on the children and try to get the mother to get to a part of the store where she's alone by kind of just walking up and down the aisle, keeping an eye on them. Is close to an exit towards the rear of the store, so they can begin operating on stealing the children. What's generally 2 to 3 men in the store, sometimes women, and they will attempt an altercation with the woman to get her guard down, to distract her from her children, and then grab the children and take them out the back door to a waiting car. And there are several cars involved, several people involved in this. What's happening right now is the pedophile rings are in need of children, and the amusement parks are closed. And don't kid yourself, folks. There are plenty of children that go missing all the time. We don't hear about it. Just do yourself a quick Google search on the number of kidnappings in your state in the last year, and you'll find nothing but COVID-19 reports, right? Folks, they're stealing children. A lot of the children that are being stolen are not getting reported. The kidnappings are not being reported, folks, and they are out in full force right now. The rings are out, and they're working on finding ways to do it and get away with it. And because everyone's wearing masks, they're not afraid. Because by the time the emergency alarm goes off at the back door of one of these retail stores, the minimum wage security guy will take 5 minutes to get there, and they're already gone with your child in the van, in the car, on the freeway. This urgent message to all parents: you need to never, ever, ever go to a store with your young children by yourself. Always take your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your friend with you. Do not let your children leave your side. Do not get distracted. Never take your children. And because of the mask, okay, here we go. Get cut off again. Goodness. I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles, grandmas, don't take your young children or your children to the store unless you have other adults with you. Don't go it alone. Now, one of the tricks is to get you to the back of the store and then have another one of their people grab the children, go out the back door with your children into a waiting car. All right? Another trick is to get your child lured away from you by another child and have that child get them into the parking lot by telling them that they have something outside, like, you want to come see my dog? Do you want to come see my car? Do you want to come see my sister? She has a cool video game. They're training children to lure children away from their parents in the stores to abduct them. Once again, if you say, get up, do not be afraid to call what's going on out to others around you, but don't go to the store with your children. unless you have another adult with you. And don't let your children out of your sight, ladies and gentlemen, because everybody's wearing masks. Now they're wearing masks and hats and sunglasses. You can't even tell if these people are human or not, for crying out loud. Now, you need to also be careful in the parking lots. You make sure that you park someplace that's within full view of cameras. Make sure you look around. Don't park in the back of the building or the side of the building when you have your children. Also, if you find yourself, when you go out to your car and you see like two vans or two large vehicles beside both sides of your car where you're sandwiched in, another technique they're using. They'll jump out of the van, grab you, and grab the children. You need to be aware of your surroundings right now. I don't mind telling you what is going on with full force right now, folks. And they're operating in broad daylight because of the masks. And they can get away with it because guess what? There's nothing the police can do because they can't identify anybody with masks on. Folks, we are on our own right now, and we need to use judgment and caution. Now, for years and years and years, we have been led to believe that this is a safe society. It's not a safe society, folks. The borders have been wide open. You got criminals coming in from all over the world. You've got all these creepy, perverted men taking Viagra, doing all kinds of weird things on the internet. And now, they're going out and getting other things to do to appease themselves because their facilities are closed. All right? Another thing they do, ladies especially, if you're not aware of this, you need to look underneath your car before you approach it, especially at night. A lot of times there'll be a van next to your car, or some sort of a van with tinted windows. You can't see in, and there are people inside it waiting. And there'll be somebody laying under your car. So when you go to get in your car, they'll grab you by your legs, and then you'll end up falling down. And they'll grab your children, grab your purse, and out they go. And bye-bye to your children, right? Folks, I'm not kidding. You need to be aware of your surroundings. Let me repeat this warning to all of you right now. Don't go anywhere with your children unless you have several adults with you. Make a serious attempt to leave your children home with somebody that's responsible. Lock your doors. Never answer your doors for any stranger. Never let them in. Train your children never to answer the door. Train your children never to go and listen to a stranger child, asking them if they want to play hide and seek in the store, or if they want to go check out my dog. This applies to the parking lot. This applies to the park. This applies to an amusement park. This applies to anywhere you go with your children. They are using every trick in the book to steal children right now. And because of the masks, they are doing it in broad daylight, and there is no way to identify.
What did Joe say about that? Oh, it's just... That's not funny. I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing about his comment about COVID-19. I just debunked it.
Identify these people. And the worst part about all this is none of it's being reported, and it's happening. You do internet search of kidnappings, and the only thing you'll see is back to 2019, a year ago. Folks, there are literally there's almost 3,000 children a day in the United States that go missing. And no one's talking about it in the media. Well, why? Because the same people that run the media are running the pedophile rings, folks. Okay? The same people that run the media are running the porn operations. The same people that run the media are running all of these evil criminal operations behind the scenes. And the government officials are all in on it. And the very high levels of law. Law enforcement are all in on it too. The Justice Department, the FBI, a lot of police departments. You can't trust anybody anymore except for your own family. And that is why you all should have guns in your home and be protecting your family. Right to bear arms. You have the right to protect your home against an invader, and you have the right to protect your family against the government. If you're going to own firearms or weapons, make sure you understand how to use them, how to store them safely, and everybody that's old enough knows how to use them if they have to. And do your homework on all the legalities of using one if you have to. But my point is the police can't help you anymore, folks. And if you haven't noticed, they're trying to defund the police. They're trying to submerge us into a lawless society. That they're going to exchange police for foreign troops eventually. I mean, there's going to be military on the streets when they get rid of the cops, folks, because they're going to descend us into anarchy. They're going to descend us into a communist Bolshevik scenario. You need to start making preparations now for protecting your family. All of these things that are being done to us, these lockdowns, these maskings, all this stuff is part of an agenda, folks. One of the biggest agendas behind all of this face masking stuff is to allow lawlessness to abound. And you're seeing the call to dismantle law enforcement. Now, we know that the police departments were all trained to crack heads for decades and frame people, murder people, beat people up, escalate simple traffic stops into felonies. They use insiders and all kinds of tricks to get people to up the ante so they can, get the arrests up and get the revenue stream going for the department. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to tell you about today is that you're on your own. And you need to have a safe network of friends. Don't hire just any babysitter off of Craigslist. And by the way, Craigslist is probably the last thing in the world you should use for anything. And by the way, don't be hiring some weirdo handyman that you've never heard of. Don't have some stranger come into your house to clean your toilets. Don't have some stranger come into your house to get the skinny on you and your comings and goings and your family just because you don't want to bend over and clean the floors. Do it yourself. Train your children to do it. Do not bring strangers into your house to perform tasks for you. You've got to be very careful right now. Do you understand me? They are stealing children in broad daylight in grocery stores, in parking lots, and I heard and a quick getaway, and where everyone is wearing masks, your children are not safe. I don't care if you're inside a store. Did you know that the back of the store has those emergency exits? And out they go to the parking lot, and the only thing that happens is an alarm goes off, and by the time someone gets there, your child is already gone. You need to be aware, ladies and gentlemen. You need to be awake. You need to be vigilant. These evil, sick pedophile rings are real. They're getting bigger. They're getting stronger. And by the way, I might as well mention this right now. The Zoom meetings that you have all your children on with the school district, well, they're just creating the menus. You heard me. Who do you think has access to all these Zoom profiles and the live streams? What do you think the school district is doing to secure those Zoom meetings with your children on them? Have your children turn their cameras off immediately. No cameras on your children's computers. Put a piece of tape over the cameras. Do not allow your children to have the camera turned on during the Zoom meetings for school. Do you understand me? All right, I've given enough information right now. This is Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, coming to you live from the streets of Orange County, California. Once again, we're in a declared emergency of child abductions that is going unreported in the media. There are rings operating involving women and men and children that are running decoys and tricks in stores to get your children to get away from you, to distract you, and then begin an altercation with you so they can grab your kids and take them out the back door, take them out through the parking lot, through the emergency exits. Stay away from these emergency exits. Make sure your children are with you and an adult at all times. No more trips to the store without your husband. No more trips to the store without your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your mom, or your aunt. You cannot allow yourself to have your children stolen from you in broad daylight in a retail store that is staffed by a bunch of minimum wage temporary workers that don't give a crap about anything but when their next break is. You cannot trust the security at the stores to protect you. You cannot trust the police to get there in time to stop it. Your children will be long gone before law enforcement has any attempts at arriving on time. They're just stretched too thin. They're being defunded. Everything is collapsing in terms of law and order. It is time for all of us to wake up and to be vigilant and to take steps necessary at all times to assume that anybody that is looking at you, hovering at you, parking next to you in a car with the engine running is a suspected kidnapper, folks. And I'm not paranoid. I'm telling you, because we're in a situation where Viagra's all over the place, where the internet's full of all kinds of filthy websites run by evil, filthy, Christ-denying scum that get off on children, and that now everybody's wearing masks and no one can tell who anybody is, you can't trust anybody anymore. So do yourself a favor and protect your most precious loved ones, your children. I don't care if you're an aunt, an uncle, a mom, a dad, a grandpa, a grandfather, a grandmother. I don't care if you're a best friend, a BFF, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever, partner, ex-wife, ex-husband, whatever. You have a duty to protect these children. And if you see anything strange, take physical action immediately and do something to stop these people so that they can get busted and thrown in jail, and do something so they can't operate like this. Everybody needs to know what's going on. Everybody needs to share this video. Everybody needs to get the likes up, post this all over social media, get the warnings out. Your children are potentially all at risk, especially the young ones. This is Joe Imbriano signing out in the name of Jesus Christ, through his name, through his wisdom, through his power.